Yo, welcome back to another video. In my last video I announced I was going to be changing the chairs in the Seat, and as you can see behind me we have the new chairs. So I'm going to take the car around the back, so I'm parked out the front at the minute, take the car into my garden, get them out of the car, then get these out of the car and put these back in the car. Okay, so now you join me from the back seat. We're going to pull the rear bench forward and remove that on both sides, and then we'll start on the rears. So the rear bench, pretty simple, pulls up and out that way. There we go. Then you've got these little clips here. 1, 2, and that's that one out. This side's just the same. Pulls up, forward. Well, that's a bit tighter. I have to do that off camera. And there's that one out. And obviously, to put the new ones in, it's the reverse of what I've just done. I am going to take the backs out first. Just because I'm going to have to gain access to a couple of the bolts. I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, so what you want to do is lie your seat down flat like that, and then just behind here where the seat belt is, just down, it's down there, I don't know if you'll see it, there is somewhere a bolt. Can't quite see it in the camera, but it is there, trust me. You need to remove that bolt, and then that will release the seat belt from under here, and you'll be able to take the seats out. Okay, so once that bolt is out from down there, which is a 17mm, I forgot to say that on my last clip, there's a little hook there which is on the side of the bench. So what you need to do is get your screwdriver in and just prise it back. Once you've done that, that will pull up like that, and then do the same on that side over there, and then all that will come out nicely. Okay, so there we go, the rears are back in. A bit of a fiddly job trying to get them in and out of a little bracket there, but we've managed to do it, so they're back in now. Next, the bases. So I've just put one back in, the one that I'm sat on, and I just thought I'd video this one. So make sure these are loose, because if they're in their down position like that, then it's harder to get them. It's going to be harder to get them back in. So, oh, that's difficult. Wish I hadn't closed that now. Right, so yeah, you want them out like this, and all we want to do is offer it up Get one side in if you can, and then push the other side in. They do just push in and out. I'm gonna have to do it off camera again because it's too hard to do with one hand. There we go, nice and easy. And you just slap him back down, push him in, and slot him down. I really should have cleaned these before I put them back in, but I was just too excited to get them back in. But there we go, they're done. I'll show you now. There we go. I think they look loads better than the cloth anyway. So now we'll move on to the fronts. This was one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of the seats, because that is just getting worse and worse and worse. It's when I get in and out of the car and I've got my jeans on, all my trackies that I've got a zip on the back, and it just eats away at it. So I think you can get it rebolstered, and before I sell these I'll try and get it done for whoever buys them. Otherwise I think it's about 50 quid, which isn't much really, considering you'll get a nice new fresh bolster. But yeah, that's for maybe another video, but for now let's try and get these front seats out. So when removing the front seats from a Seat Leon, what you need to do is push the seat all the way forward, undo, there's some little plastic tabs that are supposed to be on there and in there, pop those out, and mine, I just used a flathead screwdriver, and on mine there are little bolts in there, and I'm using a T20 Torx bit on them. Undo those, and this plastic cover will then come up and move backwards. Same with that one. Then we go to the front of the seat, and there's two 13mm bolts that will undo from the front. I'll show you that in a sec. Once you've undone those, two little bolts at the back, that is, move the chair all the way back, and there are underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, there are one about there and one about there, 13mm bolts. You need to undo those, and then you'll be able to push the chair all the way back and it will come out. Also undo the here's one I made earlier, the yellow clip you can see there, as that will need to come off so that you can take the chair out. That was more difficult than it looks, trying to wiggle the chair out and get it out without scratching nothing. Doable, but not enjoyable, and I'm certainly not looking forward to putting the new one, which is over there, back in, because it's heavier being electric. I am going to have to try and figure out how I'm going to run the power to the electric, the new electric chair, because the electric chair, it sounds like I'm going to get a shock. Should I say the electrics on the front chair, because it is fully electric, not manual adjustment. So I think what I'm going to do is, behind the little centre console there, and obviously I'm going to have to do it for the passenger one as well because that's fully electric, remove this centre console and go to the wiring loom behind it for the stereo, and take a live and a neutral from underneath there somewhere, so that the chairs can actually adjust a bit properly. But I'm too excited right now to try and figure that out just yet, so that'll be another video. It's been a few days since I've had the new electric chairs in the Seat, and driving around with them not being able to be adjusted is doing my head in. So I've got the driver's seat out behind me, and I'm just trying to figure out a way of hooking up the what's it called, the airbag, as this one was just cut, and mine obviously came with has a connector on it. So what I've actually done is cut the connector off of mine, which I didn't really want to do, off my cloth chair in the background there, cut that off that, because I don't think anyone's going to buy them. I think the chairs are pretty much scrap anyway. So I've cut this off. As you can see, I've got the wires ready and the heat shrink, and I'm going to put this onto that loom, and then I'll be able to plug this back into mine and they'll work okay, hopefully anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Okay, so that's that job done. As you can see, it's all heat shrinked up. I'm actually going to put some electrical tape around it as well, just to try and protect it that little bit more. Tape it all up properly, and then we can connect it up back in the car, and hopefully the airbag light will go off. I'm also going to do the same to the passenger side, but it's just going to be the same thing. I'm going to take the loom off that chair, take the passenger chair out the Seat, and just do the same thing basically. Cut the wires, splice the connector on, and heat shrink it up, wrap it up, put it back in the car, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to sort the electrics out for the chairs to be able to move. Okay, that's all taped up now, and that's obviously me splicing this into the chair's loom, but now that will enable me to plug this back into mine, and we'll all have a coconut smile. What I've actually managed to do is try and sort the wiring loom out for the electrics of the chair as well. What I've actually done is extended. I did actually use that piece I said I wasn't going to, which was this piece. I've heat shrunk it and taped it all up, and there's the positive wire. Close there. There's a positive wire, and this one coming off here is the negative one. I've actually tried it with the battery, and it does work. So I know that it will all work once it's put back in. I'll feed this big long one up through the carpet, and that will attach to one of the bolts underneath the center console where the gear gaiter is, just under the gear gaiter, sorry. And then what I'll do is I will wire up the power terminal that I've got with an inline fuse. I'll connect that up to the passenger seat and then loop it across to the driver's seat, and that way they've both got power through a fused location, and they'll both be earthed, so then they will both work. So happy days. All that remains now is for me to do the passenger side, but I'll probably do that again tomorrow, but obviously for you guys it'll be in a couple of seconds. And then I'm going to put the chair back in, the driver's chair back in, so that I can actually drive the car. Okay, so you join me from another part of the video in another outfit change and another hat. What I forgot to mention in the last part of the video was how I was running the live, or more or less where I was running the live from. I recently got rid of a boot build that I had with a speaker in the back and a sub and that, and the power cable that ran from that is now going to power the seats. So we've got the red from the battery, which has also got the inline fuse. That's going to power the passenger seat, which is where I'm currently sat, and we're going to loop that across to the driver's chair. The negative is going to run from the same place that I said it was going to, and that will be under the gear gaiter. There's a bolt under there. I'm going to wire it, obviously put a ring connector on the wire for the negative, and that'll be the negative side for it. That's where it'll run from. So I think what I'm going to do next is take the passenger seat out and undo the driver's chair, side chair, so I can push it backwards just to get to the connections underneath. And I'm also going to take the center console out so that I can obviously gain access to the bolt that I was talking about. But first I've got to take a couple of bolts out, so we'll do that and then we'll come back. Right, excuse the phone charger cable, the phone died. But where we're at is obviously the center console out there, you can see that's out, nightmare. And I've managed to thread the power cable through the carpet. It's obviously come in under there, it's come under here now. We've managed to get it out come out under the carpet there. Just going to tidy all this up, and then obviously that can attach to the underside of the passenger seat. Also going to cut not this one, but I'm going to cut the connector off the passenger chair from my old ones, and then obviously do the same as we did yesterday and wire the, got it out here, wire the, yeah, I'm going to cut that off because it looks like someone's done it already before. So I'm going to cut these off and go onto this part of the loom with the connector from this chair, and then they should be able to go back in and all be fully working. Okay, so what I've done now is, here are the positive and the negative just there in the middle of the loop. That's all wired in and coming up through the carpet from the bottom of the driver's chair. And what we'll do now is put the driver's chair back into its position and give the wire enough slack not to get caught on anything. Put the driver's seat back in, and then this is looped obviously over to where the passenger seat will be, and we should have enough slack there to wire that one up that I've just made onto my big one there that was from the boot build that I had in there. And obviously that's all coming under the carpet as I showed you before, so it should be out of the way of all the rails and getting caught on anything. What I've also done was cut the loom off my passenger chair with the cloth chairs that I had in before, as I said I would. Let's get this out of the way, don't need that. So obviously now that's just one wire in the airbags will work, or should work should I say, on the passenger side. So we'll get that chair in and see where we're up to. Right, so the driver's seat is now in, all wired up, and I've got the neutral plumbed into there. Yes, I know it's a red wire. I couldn't be, I was being too cheap and didn't want to blow 4 meters of red wire, 4 meters of black wire, so I just used red because I didn't really need 8 meters altogether. I only needed probably about 2, but I wanted to make sure I had enough. But yeah, that is the negative wire. It's all encased in black. So that's hooked up to there, running under the carpet and back out here, and that'll be attached to the negative on the passenger seat. And now what I'm going to do is cut a piece off this wire. Well, actually I might, no I won't. I'm going to cut another piece of wire off my roll. Shout out Halford, nice one. Yeah, that one's going to be connected into there, and then I'm going to cut some more of that and basically put it underneath the passenger chair, and then it will go into that as well. And that'll be the electrics all sorted then, and obviously unplug bloody charger, plug that back in as well, so that hopefully the airbag light will go off as well. Okie dokie, then all the chairs are back in, well both chairs are back in, all fully working. Going back and forward, and driver's one does as well because I've checked that. Oh, focus bud, there we go. So as you can see, the car's a mess, so I'm going to put everything back together, and then that'll be all sorted now. So thanks for watching, and look out for the next video.